Yeah, greetings, colleagues, viewers, listeners, friends all over the world. This is our monthly feature, the Applied Professional and Executive Coaching 101 Conversation Show, the show that is brought to you by the Commercial Global online channels, hosted by myself, Sam Zimmer from Johannesburg, South Africa, with my colleague, Coach Mishti from Mumbai. We always bring a guest, a fellow coach from anywhere in the world to enter into conversation as coaches to enlighten fellow coaches, the buyers of coaching, the coachees, academics, anyone that is interested in the topic of coaching. Commercial Global online channels, it's about education, it's about entertainment, it's about networking, it's about development. Today, we're talking about coaching in Nigeria, the state of coaching in Nigeria. Uh, and the guest is the appropriate person to share that with us. Let me also say that it is about coaching in Africa and in the world. And for that matter, I have my coach, Coach Mishti, fellow coach from Mumbai, to greet you, and then we will introduce our guest. Over to you, Mishti.
Thank you, Sam. Greetings to you and Adora. Greetings to everyone who are tuned in, and a very warm welcome to all the beautiful coaches across the globe. It is always so nice to have such fantastic coaches and experts talk about the power of coaching on this platform. On that note, I would like to hand it over to Coach Sam to introduce our wonderful guest today and tell us more.
Wonderful, wonderful. We're honored to have Adaora Ayoade from Nigeria to talk about her journey, talk about what brought her into coaching and what is the state of coaching in Nigeria. And she is the right person to do that because she is the president of the ICF Nigeria chapter. Welcome to the show, Adaora. I'm not going to claim to be expert on your journey, and that is the whole idea that we start by asking you, just tell us a little bit about your journey, your upbringing, who you are, and then of course we'll go deeper into your professional journey. Let's start from your upbringing. Tell those who know Nigeria very well, which part of Nigeria are you right now as you talk to us?
Great. Well, Coach Sam, thank you so much. And Coach Mitzi, it's a pleasure, an absolute pleasure to be here today. And I just really want to start by just acknowledging everybody who has taken the time to join us. You're all very warmly welcome. So I'm Adora Ayoade, and Sam, you asked what part of Nigeria am I from? So I bring a lot of diversity
Yeah.
in the world. So I'm of mixed parentage. My father is from the eastern part of Nigeria called Imo State. And my mother is actually not Nigerian. She's West Indian from Jamaica. So I have, the best of both worlds. I currently live in the western part of Nigeria, in a city called Ibadan in Oyo State, because I happen to be married to a gentleman from another part of the country. So I have, you know, um, Eastern parentage, and I'm married to someone from Western Nigeria, and then I have my mom who is from outside of Nigeria. So a nice mix.
Wow. You
Yeah.
you are a good example of diversity as it is, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. So perhaps just take us through your journey up to where you are now. And obviously, we will interject if we hear some nice things to expatiate on. Feel free to take us along where it all started in terms of your professional journey.
Okay, so thank you so much. Interestingly, my background is more in human resources, and I have been working in this space across various sectors over the years. I then decided about 12 years ago to begin my own HR and management consulting firm. And that's where I am at the moment, and I'm doing amazing, if I should say that, with the team that are just absolutely amazing, and we are really making an impact in our space. But what I had found over the years was, whilst we were offering learning and development solutions, recruitment solutions, background verification solutions, management consulting solutions, I came across coaching. And how did this happen? I was with a client, who is one of the leading multinationals that's based here in Nigeria. And I was having a conversation with them around the learning and development solutions we've been providing for them over the years. And the HR director said to me, we have a lot of leaders who we feel they're not maximizing their potential and they need coaching. And he said, I'm really interested in, you supporting us to embed a coaching culture in our organization. So I just found it so funny because I said, well, I'm not a coach. I'm a training, learning, and development professional. I'm a certified trainer by the International Finance Corporation of the World Bank. I don't know anything about coaching. And he said, I feel that you'll do absolutely amazing in coaching. He said, this is the future. And it's interesting because, there's a PwC report that says that coaching is the second largest profession after IT globally. In absolute, yeah. And so when this director said this, I said, so can I just connect you with some coaches? Can I link you with? He said, no, we would really like you to go into coaching. And
Which year was this, Adaora?
This was 6 years ago. And for me, I just thought, who does this? You want a particular solution, you go for somebody who is established already.
Yeah.
So he said, well, this is the number of the president of the International Coaching Federation, and they've recently come to Nigeria. So I'd like you to give her a call and have a conversation with her around you becoming a coach. And at that time, the president was Titi Akisaya, who is a wonderful sister and friend. And so I gave her a call and I said, look, I'm interested in finding out about coaching. And she said, yeah, let's have a meetup. So we did. At that time, there was no one offering coaching, training, and certification in Nigeria. So she presented me with a few options across the globe. And of course, the investment that would go along with that. So I thought, excuse me, I'm going to put this on the back burner for now. Yeah. And so I did. And then some months down the line, I get a call. And somebody calls me and says, hello, we're calling, and this was from the same organization. We're calling because our HR director said you should be making some progress now with your coaching journey. And so we'd like to know where you are. I almost passed out. I thought, who does that? So I panicked and I thought, what? I said, let me just come back to you on this. So immediately I, started the search for a coach certification program. I knew that this now, there was no getting away from it. And so I had to travel. I went to Canada, did my coach certification, did my coach training. And I thought I was doing it for this organization. I didn't realize I was doing it for myself.
Wow.
It was transformational. It changed my entire life. The fact that you just gain so much more self-awareness, you become more confident, you have more emotional intelligence, you become more empathetic. I mean, I can go on and
Yeah.
on and on. You really just become a better leader. So here I was thinking, this is for this organization, not realizing this was for me to become a better version of myself and to extend that to the world. So I
Wow.
did that.
So coaching found
Wonderful.
you.
Yes,
Coaching
I
found you.
was. Yes.
Coaching, you hit the nail on the head, Sam.
Yeah.
Coaching found me. And now I preach the gospel according to coaching because now I've seen the difference it can make in individuals, in teams, and in organizations. So I came back, and like I said, I live in Ibadan, which is not Nigeria is not the capital. Ibadan is not the capital of Nigeria. So, Sam, you're familiar with places like Abuja, that's the capital,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Lagos, that's a lot more cosmopolitan, and you have companies. And I was just here in Ibadan. And then I get a call one day, and someone says, hello, yes, we're really interested in you becoming the vice president of the International Coaching Federation. I can tell you that coaching has been after me and I've just fallen in love. you know. So I said, Vice President? I said, no. I'm a member, but that's as much as I'm all the way in Ibadan and there's a lot of activity in Lagos. And the person said, no, I think, it would be wonderful for you to create more awareness about coaching even where you are. And at that time, I had had a conversation with the premier university in Nigeria about coaching for their leaders through an initiative that ICF has called Ignite Initiative. And they bought into it and we were doing this. So this person said, look, you're already doing such great work in your space. Please consider this. So I gave it a thought and then, okay, sent my CV in and the elections took place and I became vice president.
Wow.
From Ibadan. And that went well. And I was serving with the president at that time, Titi Akisaya, who was doing her second term. So I went through that journey. It was fantastic, living out the whole vision of ICF, which is to make coaching an integral part of a thriving society. Then I get another call somewhere down the line. All these amazing calls. And somebody says, are you interested in running for president? And I said, oh, no, not at all. I mean, I finished as vice president and that's it. And they said, but you really have, the accreditation, you have the network, you have the passion. Why will you consider this? So once again, gave it a shot, sent in my CV, and the elections took place and I was voted in as president. And for me, like I said, I live in an entirely different city
Wow.
from Lagos. So I found it interesting that who are these people even that are voting for me? But then I came into the position as president, humbly so, and I was so fortunate, and I am still so fortunate to have the most amazing board members that we work together. And we have collaboratively been able to make such an impact in coaching in Nigeria. So on a personal front, I decided, because then I then decided that I had to travel so far and pay so much for coach training. And I love learning, I love development, I love impacting people. In fact, one of our core values at our organization, which is EZ37 Solutions, one of our core values is people. So I thought, how can I bring coaching to Nigeria? And so proudly, we started in our organization offering coach certification to individuals who are looking to become professional coaches. And so
Man.
that's a bit of my journey to where I am
Well,
today.
I
So
I don't know about you, Coach Mishti. I mean, this story is just
It's
mind.
very inspiring. And Coach Sam, in fact, you just spoke the same words I wanted to. That is, coaching really found Adora. And the moments of synchronicity that you have shared, they are so powerful. So you also spoke about, finding a better version of yourself. And that's what coaching does, and deeper self-awareness. So while coaching was chasing you, I'm sure there must have been certain gifts that you must have realized about your own self that had coaching and all these wonderful people knock at your door. So I'm very excited to know about the gifts, the qualities that you discovered about yourself that blended so well with the whole profession of coaching.
okay, well, interestingly, I think coaching is such that as coaches, we hold a very safe space for our clients. So there's no judgment. We allow them to bring their most vulnerable self to the conversations. And so I found that probably because of by virtue of my training, my professional coach certification training, and probably as a result of my upbringing as well, I really found it so easy not to judge people. So I am from Nigeria, father from the east, husband from the west, mother from outside of Nigeria. Every Christmas, when I was growing up, my parents would take me to the village. So it wasn't a case of only being in the city. I would be in the village. I would be riding on motorbikes, the local motorbikes. I was having a blast with fruits from the trees. So I had, that kind of upbringing. And then I graduated from university, went abroad for my postgraduate studies. So I've had such a diverse um, exposure. I also I was born in the UK, I studied in America, brought up in Nigeria. So I think all of that coming together, by the time I got into coaching and I started coaching people across the globe, it was so easy to embrace the cultures, to embrace the diversity, and to appreciate the uniqueness in individuals. And as I said earlier, one of our core values at my organization is people. So of course, we look at teamwork, we look at integrity, we look at collaboration for people. So I value people. And I think bringing that into coaching was for me such a natural thing to do. And I think that has really, really helped in being a coach.
We call it the coaching way of being before even you start coaching itself. And that's why then coaching will come to you. Mishti, you must be relating to this origin of Adora because you shared with me and Adora earlier on that your upbringing was in Nigeria. Tell the viewers a little bit about that. Nigeria and in India, and,
Yes.
which
Did
city
that
that you connect to that you can reflect on.
did that surprise you, Sam, when I said that?
Yes, I didn't expect it, and
Yes.
look at this now. I mean, you're talking to your sister from Nigeria.
Yes, yes,
Exactly.
absolutely. So, so till the age of 5, I was in Nigeria, first in Kaduna, and then in Benin City. So I remember what I remember about Nigeria. I was very young, but I did my first 2 grades in Nigeria, first grade actually in Nigeria. So I remember people being very friendly and very warm, and there was also a lot of cultural diversity because my mother would run a preschool there, so there were people from different countries also there as well. There were a lot of expats. So so I do remember smiles, I do remember warmth, and I did not feel like an outsider. I had a lot of friends as a child. So so that is my memory about Nigeria. And when I speak to you, Adora, the first thing that I connected with was your passion and warmth. When you're talking about people and people being as one of appreciating the uniqueness and nurturing people as being one of your core values, I'm reminded of the same warmth that I experienced as a child when I was in Nigeria. And so that was wonderful, and it's deja vu to
Mm,
to
mm,
connect with this experience. And I also wanted to say that you have such a diverse background, and you've been a learning and development professional for so many years. In fact, I've also been one, and I'm currently working with an OD consulting company called ODA, where we've done a lot of work in leadership development and in learning and development. I realized that while working with people and people from different cultures, it's very important to check your own implicit and explicit biases. And even as coaches, help people check their own unconscious biases, especially in diverse populations. So I wanted to know your thoughts while using coaching. How do you help people connect with their biases while working in diverse cultures?
Okay, thank you. I mean, so you're so spot on, Mitchie, because indeed, this exists. And we all have these biases, whether we accept it or realize it or not. Sometimes, it's just hidden there in our blind spots. So we deploy a number of tools. Sometimes we have, whether it's 360 assessments, 180 assessments, or a variety of personality assessments that gets the individuals to get to know themselves better and to see what their strengths are and to appreciate, the areas that they may need to pay attention to as, growth areas. And quite often, it can be very illuminating, very illuminating. Also, by the time you have your coaching conversations, some individuals would, by the time they tell you about their values, they tell you about their goals, and they begin to talk about what's holding them back, and you begin to ask those powerful questions, even just through those conversations, they begin to reflect and realize that, my way of thinking, my
mm,
beliefs around A, B, or C is actually not serving me. And then,
mm,
that awareness is invoked within themselves to realize that I really may need to do some, reorientation here, or to revisit some of the beliefs and values or biases that I hold. So quite often it's through a whole variety of means that these clients, these individuals are able to identify their biases, pay attention to them, and decide to do something about them.
wow. You you didn't know anything about coaching when coaching found you. So you didn't
Not
have the opportunity and the privilege of hearing somebody truly explaining to you what coaching is. It found you, and then you went and then get trained. Now that you are a practitioner in the field, you're doing a lot of positioning of coaching almost daily. Now you meet somebody that has never experienced coaching, but he has heard that it's a very powerful thing. And how do you position coaching? I know there is ICF way of positioning it, but there must be the Adaora way of actually bringing coaching to people. How do you position it? How do you define it such that people will say, "Wow, Adaora, thank you so much, I'm in."
All right, thank you so much. So, so I think that everyone wants to be valued. Everyone wants to feel important. Everyone wants to feel, that they have an opportunity to really fulfill the purpose for which they're existing. And so, when positioning coaching, I let the individual know that they are indeed creative, they're resourceful, and that they are whole. And that I'm not here to come and tell them what to do. I'm here to partner with them to achieve that purpose that they have in their heart. And that I'm going to hold a space for them that is so safe, that can allow them to be as vulnerable as they need to be, and that they should see me as their partner. And it's interesting because quite often you find that a lot of people are still confusing coaching, with things like mentoring or consulting. And so they think you're coming to tell them what to do. So once I'm able to make them realize that I believe in their greatness, I believe in their awesomeness, and that I'm just here to help them to raise that level of performance and to help them get closer to those goals, that vision they have, and towards achieving their purpose. I find that a lot of people want to hear more. They want to know more and they want to experience more. So that has been the way that I've put it to them. They're the experts of the goals that they want to achieve, and I'm just the expert of the process. So I basically just so we bring both gifts to the table.
Wow. And then where are we now in terms of coaching in Nigeria, and what are the programs of action that the ICF Nigeria under your leadership is embarking on?
So coaching in Nigeria has made huge strides. You find that across various sectors, a lot of organizations have embraced coaching. A lot of organizations have embedded coaching as a leadership style, and they've seen the impact in their culture, in their engagement levels, in their retention levels, in their leadership bench strength becoming strengthened, and so on. And so we're finding that the awareness is there, but there's still room for more awareness. And so ICF Nigeria has been, creating this awareness through programs that we've had. This year we had the International Coaching Week, and we partnered with a number of organizations to bring coaching into their companies. This year, we specifically worked with small and medium enterprises, and we gave them the gift of coaching. So we had a number of coaches who partnered with leaders of small and medium enterprises to help them to experience coaching and the benefits that it would provide to them. Last year, we worked more with the large corporates. And we also have had the Ignite initiative, which is an initiative of ICF Foundation. In the past, what we did was we partnered with, like I said earlier, the premier university in Nigeria, and we offered coaching from the vice chancellor to the deputy vice chancellor to lecturers, all the top leadership cadre. We exposed them to coaching, and it was transformational. This year, we have also partnered with the leading human resource organization, which is the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, Nigeria. And we're bringing coaching and the awareness of coaching to the thousands of members that they have. And in addition to that, we're launching another Ignite initiative that's going to start very soon. So we have quite a few different approaches to making coaching an integral part of our society, of our community. And we're really excited. And, when I started, I said, it's been amazing. And the fact that you can see people transformed, you can see people impacted, you can see people achieving their goals. It's been a really rewarding journey. And of course, this has been achieved through the collaborative efforts of the board of ICF Nigeria.
Tell us a little bit more. Sorry, Mishti. Tell us a little bit more about your board members. Who are they, and what industries are they coming from? Are they also full-time coaches? Let's just get to know a bit about them.
Okay, so very diverse from different backgrounds. We have in ICF Nigeria, we have a finance director, Titi Olujobi, and she, manages the affairs of our chapter. We have a communications director, Folake Oluwole, and everything around communication, publicity, she's doing a fantastic job. We have an education director, Janet Adetu, and every month we have webinars creating an awareness about coaching. And last year we had like 22 webinars, and yes, it's been, yeah, we have guests coming in with different topics, and we also had like a book club. The education directorate has also had like coaching cafes. So many things have been going on in that space. And then we have our membership director who engages with existing members, potential members. We have our programs director, Landry Onosanya, and he has been involved in like the International Coaching Wiki, together with a committee, was able to organize this across Africa, because we've partnered with other chapters in Africa to do this. We also have our vice president, Yoju Olomola, who has been phenomenal. We've just been, we joke and say we're both in the presidency, the president and the vice president. We're in the presidency, So it's been wonderful working with her. We have a chapter secretary, so we have a very diverse board, and they all bring their uniqueness and their wealth of experience to leading the chapter. And we're also fortunate at ICF Nigeria, I was going to mention this, those who founded the chapter, they're our trustees. So we have people like Adeboye Martins, Titi Akisaya, Dudu Peter Side, Jibola Ponle, Habiba Balogun, Landry Olushola. They founded, so they also act as, a fantastic support to us on the board, so it sort of broadens, all the wealth of experience that we bring to repositioning coaching in Nigeria. And yeah, so that's in a nutshell about ICF Nigeria. I must also mention our strategy is linked to the ICF Global Strategy, which has 4 pillars. But in Nigeria, we have a strategy that is an acronym point We Can. So yeah. We can, and W stands for wealth creation, E stands for education, C stands for credentialing, because we want to continuously raise the bar. A stands for advocacy, so we're taking coaching out there into our community, into the world. And N stands for new members, new growth. So we're continuously looking for people to come.
This is so beautiful. Wow.
Beautiful. Yes, from we can to yes, we can.
Yes, we can, exactly.
Yes.
So we can.
And, you were talking about taking coaching out there to the world through the ICF chapter in Nigeria. You do also some work in Middle East and Europe. Is there a strategic alliance there? Could you tell us more about that?
All right. So ICF Global, as you know, ICF Global, it's the leading, and ICF is the leading and the largest global organization of professional coaches in about 150 countries. So what they've done is, in order to raise the level, the quality of coach training globally, they have what we call co-leaders for 3 different regions. They've divided, the globe into 3 different regions. And so I am the co-leader for Europe, Middle East, and Africa. And the idea here is to engage and ensure that coach practitioners, coach training practitioners, and coach educators are actually delivering coach training to meet the standards expected of them, so that they produce coaches who actually imbibe the competencies required to be an ICF, to be trained through an ICF approved program. So ICF has, some key core competencies, things like ethics, non-negotiable, things like how you listen as a coach, Sam, you said it earlier, how you be as a coach. So your presence, things like that. So coach training institutions, coach training providers, and educators have got to meet up to certain standards. And so in Europe, Middle East, and Africa, that's my jurisdiction to work with those to achieve that objective.
Nigeria is a very big country. I mean, how many states do you have there?
36.
And how 36?
Yes.
And I can imagine the challenge you are having in terms of covering all 36 states. Do you have any approach that you are using to make sure that there are not other aspiring members that are not accessed by your office?
Okay, I'd say that the world is a global village, and Nigeria, because of digitization and the fact that we are operating so much in the virtual space now, so a lot of coaches in different parts of Nigeria have become members of ICF. Why? Because of the awareness that we've been able to create in the virtual space. And because of COVID last year, post-COVID, we're still being very cautious. And so we haven't started having any in-person gatherings for like our meetings. And so when we have events, people can join from any part of Nigeria. People can join from any part of the world because we're still meeting up virtually. And so we have guests that can join our programs, members that can join from different locations and still participate and benefit from some of our offerings and some of our events and our activities. So I don't see it as a challenge because of the era that we're operating in at this time.
How many members do you have at the moment in Nigeria?
We have over 100 members currently. Just over 100 members, and ICF Nigeria is just about 6 years old, so we're still looking to grow that number and obviously welcoming new members into our chapter.
So you training of coaches will then hence is in the weekend strategy acronym, I guess. So you said your company has now taken a decision to also offer training, and I assume that it is a CTP, right? It is a ICF accredited provider.
So ICF as a body does not offer coach training. Yes. As an organization, ICF does not offer coach training. But what we do at the chapter level is we organize continuous professional development programs. When I mentioned to you that, for instance, last year we had 22 webinars and we had coaching cafes, we had book clubs, and so on. Those are not professional coach training programs. Those are continuous development. So from those programs, you can get CCEs, and you can add them to, if you're going for another credentialing level and so on. So that's what we offer in ICF. What I offer in my organization, which is EZ37 Solutions, in terms of coach training, we offer the coach certification program, but we also offer coach training skills for leaders and managers. So those are the two offerings that we have. But under the weekend, back to ICF Nigeria, it's mainly ongoing professional development.
Wow. I mean, the story of how ICF chapters come about appears to be the same across the globe. And Mishti has shared with me similar type of experiences in India. And I can imagine the two continents having the same type of challenge. And that's why what we are trying to do with this program is to actually contribute to that, because we can make a mistake in assuming that people will know how to go about it. Are there any similarities, Mishti, based on what Ayoade shared with us from the India side of? I mean, India is also at the advanced stage in terms of being part of the global community of coaching. I think you are muted, Mishti.
You're muted, Mishti. We can't hear you.
Yes, yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yeah.
very well.
So, what I really liked about what Adaora was sharing in terms of her initiatives was the dynamism and the number of initiatives that you have, taken on board. Even small initiatives like book clubs. So you're using various strategies to really reach different segments of populations and get them on board. So in the same way, India is also very robust. So there are a series of webinars that keep happening across the 6 chapters, and a lot of events and initiatives that are there, and growing population of coaches. And another similarity is the work that you do with managers and the transition between managers to leaders. So in the L&D space and the industry in India, there's a lot of work that's done with high potential managers and using coaching to get them on to the level of senior leaders. So that's another strong similarity that I see. And I was curious to know more about that initiative of yours because, managers or the middle management segment is a lot about the survival needs, about fixing things and getting things done. But as you move on to senior leadership roles, it's more about self-actualization. It's more about purpose. It's more about authentic leadership and leading with collaboration, co-creation of possibilities, and bigger picture vision. So, what is your approach, in on that particular program, especially using coaching there?
Okay, so interesting to hear about what you're doing there in India, Michi. So that's really good. Well done. So really, in response to your question, I think what we found is very similar. Yeah, a lot of managers that have transitioned into leadership have there's a need for that self-awareness. There's a need for a shift in their approach and having a more collaborative approach, be more leading with emotional intelligence and empathy, and like you said, self-actualization is a big piece as well. So what we've done is, so on one side you have the professional coach certification, which is for those who want to go down that route. But on the other side, the coach skills training for leaders and managers, that is a shorter program. So for us, that is held over if it's 2 full days or 2.5 full days, or for organizations that want to stagger it, we can do it over a week and just have a few hours each day. And so we take the managers through that program. And the feedback has been amazing. It's been really, really positive. But apart from that program, we also have another program, which is group coaching. And that too, in fact, we're running a particular group coaching program right now. And, you had people come into that program saying, what does coaching have to do with performance? I mean, I just want, to get the numbers up. I don't see. And then after just a few sessions, feedback from there as well has been so positive, because they're like, oh my goodness, I see. I need to first connect with my people. I need to make them realize that I value them. And I need to make them realize they're not just a number or a tool. And so that heightened level of self-awareness has really been very positive. So we engage managers in transition to leadership positions, or leaders, early stage leaders, or even second level, first level, third level leaders through these sort of programs. And it's been basically customized to meet the needs of the specific organization. If they want it full time, if they want it, spread a few hours a day over a few weeks. So that's how we've actually positioned that.
And what about the leaders in other sectors of our society? Political leadership, uh, leadership in cultural organizations, clubs, sports. Are there some members within your organization, ICF Nigeria, that are interested in experiencing the power of coaching?
Well, interestingly, Sam, the institution that we worked with for the first Ignite project that we did, that institution is actually a government institution, a federal government institution. And so they, of course, they were recipients of coaching. But currently, a number of ICF coaches are working with a particular state government, and we're providing them with one-on-one coaching. And a few people in that government have actually expressed interest in becoming professional coaches. And also, some of them have also been through the coach skills training. So they're not going to be professional coaches, but they've learned about coaching skills that they can use to be more successful as leaders. So yes, coaching in the public sector is something that we've been doing, and we're currently still doing successfully.
And I can imagine the awareness of the fact that coaching, although is to benefit both individual and the organization, but the primary focus of coaching is you, the individual, as a functionary in that organization. I guess that's where then the interest will come. It doesn't matter whether a person is in the public organization or a private organization. At the end of the day, I guess what your organization in terms of saving membership is, it's about capacitating your members as them in the organization where they exist. Am I right? Is that becoming clearer?
Absolutely correct, Sam. You're spot on. Absolutely. Because when you impact the individual will impact the team, and the team will then have an impact in the organization. And so you have organizations that have cascaded their goals down to individuals. And as you have those individuals attaining those goals, it's a ripple effect. And you find they're more committed, they're more engaged, they're more motivated, they're more keyed in, they're more, there's higher retention. And so the organizational impact will obviously be a positive one.
And I guess you can extend that by saying the organizations will then impact the society, which will then impact the country, and then the continent, and then the world. How is this?
Absolutely. So you see, coaching is just so amazing in terms of transforming individuals, teams, organizations, society, countries, nations, and our world would be a more peaceful world, would be a more beautiful world if we had more coaches. So definitely, we need more coaching. We need more coaches.
That's absolutely wonderful, Adora. And it also reminds me of the work that Peter Senge does on systems thinking, where you're focusing on whole rather than just parts. And it's the whole ecosystem that's getting impacted just by influencing one single individual, and how the whole thing is interlinked. Now, post the pandemic, or the COVID waves that have happened, there's a lot of conversation around wellness in the HR and L&D space as well. So, how's coaching contributing in those conversations?
Okay. So yeah, absolutely. A lot of conversations that have been held, a lot of conversations that are still ongoing, Michi. And what we did was we invited a top psychiatrist actually to one of our education sessions to come and share about topical issues around mental health, mental wellness. And it was really insightful, and the feedback was really positive. And it was this is something that we've had several conversations around, even as a chapter, because ICF has a white paper that they released that talks about when coaches need to refer individuals to therapists. And I find that if individuals are having those healthy conversations with coaches, if they're aware of themselves, of their triggers, of their motivations, then it sort of helps them in managing their mental health. And things may not have to escalate to the point where they now need to begin to see therapists and so on. But should that be the case, then as coaches, we're well positioned to be able to make that recommendation as the need presents itself. But yes, we are creating awareness through our programs around wellness, mental health, and those sort of topical issues.
Let's talk about coaching as an intervention that appreciates the cultures, the African cultures, and if we may speak of a very diverse Nigerian society. There must be times where when you enter into conversations that you pick up that there is absolute necessity for us as coaches to be cognizant of culture. Have you done any work collectively or individually or in your organization? I know probably you do a lot of diversity interventions and programs, but African culture is unique. So is Indian culture. Any culture is unique. And I guess the consciousness that is there in us as coaches it helps us to deal with that. But what more about the clients? How do you bring them to that level of realization that they cannot wish it away? It is critical in their interaction with the other people. I know I gave you a very long statement, but you center culture in the middle of a conversation.
So, Sam, on the part of coaches, you do know that when it comes to coach training, a lot of attention is paid to that aspect of cultural awareness, cultural appreciation. And so, as a coach, you do understand the need to embrace the culture of the diverse people you come in contact with. And when engaging with the clients, when you create that space, when you create your agreement right from the start, even from before you even enter into the coaching engagement, at the agreement stage, when you're explaining to the client what coaching is, you have an opportunity at that intake session to really, communicate the fact that there's no bias, there's no judgment, and this is what coaching is. And as you explore with them, should these if I should use the word limiting beliefs on their parts, so to speak, come up, then we will be able to pose some challenging questions to them, for them to be able to have a rethink, a reflection of whether or not that is serving them. So we have an opportunity to talk to them upfront. So it's not in the course of the coaching conversation that this arises, and then you now take them by surprise, through the kind of questions you may pose to them. So those sort of issues are addressed right at the start. You let them know your stance in terms of cultural appreciation, and then we let them know how it may be dealt with should it come up. But yeah, Nigeria is very diverse. But the way coaching is right now, it's beyond any shores. So here in Nigeria, definitely, but even coaches who are based in Nigeria are engaging with individuals across the continent, across the globe. We invited Nobantu from South Africa to come and talk on Ubuntu coaching, and it was so enlightening, hearing about I am because we are, and if you want to go fast, go alone, and if you want to go far, go with others. So yeah, so we embrace the cultural diversity across the country and beyond.
Wow. how can we challenge each other as Africans, in this case, particularly of the continent, in growing coaching and putting it at the center of transformation? I think we have many other bodies doing this, but I see that at the moment we have very limited chapters. We've got very few chapters in the continent, and we have a lot of work to do. And my desire is we should have every country having at least a chapter. I know it's a big talk, but I'm glad to hear that you have reached out to Nobandu and you're reaching out to other chapters in Africa. But 4 chapters in a continent as big as Africa is very little.
It's very little indeed, Sam. And yeah, we need to increase the numbers, but we need to raise the vibration, if I should use that term. We need to increase the awareness, and there's a lot of market confusion and dilution around what coaching is. So there's a need to create even more awareness through whether it's programs, whether it's through write-ups, whether it's through advocacy, whether it's through collaboration, because coaching changes lives. And so I think the reason why we don't have enough is because people out there don't know enough. So we really truly have a lot of work to do. And through that awareness about the value of coaching and the impact it has, you can read. I have a column in one of the leading newspapers in Nigeria, Business Day, where we write about coaching. We need more coaches writing. What is the return on expectation? How do we create the awareness about the impact that coaching has? So I think more needs to be done so that we can actually get more people on board this amazing train.
Beautiful. I'm mindful of time. Perhaps we can reflect a little bit on what we have brought up in this conversation. And then, of course, we're going to give you the opportunity at the end to share with the viewers how they get hold of you, how they get hold of the ICF chapter in Nigeria, and many other things that you feel we might have not touched. They may follow up on with you. Mishti, do you want to just reflect a little bit and also check out for us?
Yes.
Unless you have any other question that Adaora hasn't answered.
No, I think I would just check out. And Coach Sam, thank you so much for inviting Adaora. It's been an absolute pleasure interacting with you. And I must say, Adaora, you used this word, and allow me to use this again, that you did raise the vibration here just by talking about the power of coaching and how it can really impact the entire ecosystem. So that is my check out and take home statement that yes, just impacting a single individual through the power of coaching can impact the entire ecosystem. So thank you for that.
Oh, thank you, Michelle. Thank you so much. Together we raise the vibration. Together.
Absolutely. And how has this conversation what memories and what thoughts has it brought into you as you were reflecting on your journey? And what is your
or Michi?
Talking to you, Adaora.
Sam.
And what's your take home?
Oh gosh, my take home is, it's for me just the experience of being here with, you from one part of the world, Michi from another part of the world, and us all just being connected, through coaching, through our desire to make an impact in our world. It's just been really a wonderful and rewarding experience for me this hour we spent together, and the opportunity to share with people out there the fact that they can be a coach, and that the world of coaching needs them, so they should come on board. And the fact that we're here to support because we believe in their awesomeness and we believe in their greatness. So just being able to have a conversation around this, the whole process, the whole experience for me has been truly a wonderful one.
Beautiful. And how do we get hold of you and the chapter?
All right, so ICF Nigeria chapter, you can find ICF Nigeria chapter on social media pages, various, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. We have a website, ICF, ICF Nigeria ng.com. So you can find us, actually Coach Federation ng.com. So you can find us through, get onto the website and get our contact numbers and contact emails. The email will be reception at coachfederationng.com. And then for my organization, it's ez37solutions.org. And it's E for elephant, Z for zebra, 37solutions.org. And we are also on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on Facebook. So yeah, I could be reached through my organization, EZ37 Solutions, and that would be great to connect and continue to shed light, for me to continue to show more light and shed more light on this topic I'm passionate about.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much. We're honored to have had you on this show and share your journey with us. Very inspirational. I think Nigeria is blessed to have people like yourself and your team and those founder members of the chapter. And I'm sure the ICF at national level, at the global level, I mean to say, must be very inspired by the work that you are doing. So we wish you well and encourage you to keep on going.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sam. And indeed, ICF at the global level have been majorly supportive. They're doing fantastic work and they've been supporting us at the regional level and at the local country level. So we really appreciate all that ICF is doing as well.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Coach Mishti. Once again, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Listeners, viewers, ladies and gentlemen, that was it. This was our spring edition of our monthly show, Coaching, Applied Professional and Executive Coaching 101 Conversation. I hope we have brought some pearls of wisdom to you. We look forward to the next show in October. It will be another coach visiting us and chatting around coaching. This is brought to you by Commercial Global Online Channels. We have an idea or a concept called an idea. We say we inform and entertain, we develop and educate, we empower and support, we associate and network. That is the idea. Thank you very much. You take care and be safe until we meet again. Goodbye.